This study investigates a self-voice alarm, which utilizes one's own voice as a daily goal reminder. I'm Jieun Kim, a PhD student at Cornell University, and this work was done with my co-author, Professor Hayeon at Seongyungan University. Think about the times when you've heard your own voice on a recording, like when you're listening back to your practice interview or a recorded speech for a presentation. If you have experienced any of these before, you might understand listening to your voice recorded is how awkward and make you feel uncomfortable. These responses can be described as what is called voice confrontation, which highlights the discrepancy between what you expect to hear and what you actually hear on the recording. It happens due to the different paths of sound transmission. When we speak, we naturally hear our voices through the bone conductance. However, when we play back and hear the recorded voices, the sound is transmitted through the air, resulting in a lower pitch with a sense of unfamiliar and unpleasant feelings. In the traditional viewpoints of human-computer interaction, discomfort is often seen as bad and negative. However, negative emotions can serve as a motivating force for goal achievement, as they can provoke problem-solving thoughts and goal-directed behaviors to resolve those negative feelings. This idea is supported by the concept of inconvenient interactions, which leverage the discomfort to encourage users to conduct a specific task as a way to relieve such discomfort. Listening to one's own voice has several impacts. It increases emotional reactivity, which allows people to focus on the voice when it's mixed with other environmental noises. Also, people tend to pay more attention to messages when they're produced by their own voices. Self-voice results in improved memory, higher interruption, and faster reaction times. Our study explores an opportunity where we can benefit from these impacts of self-voice to build our long-term behavioral changes. In this study, we investigated the motivating impact of self-voice and implemented an effective daily reminder promoting the user's behavioral change. We also expect that this approach will help users establish their habits by increasing the frequency of goal behaviors in their daily lives. We compared 3 different groups, including self-voice, other voice, and a commonly used bip sound alarm. We proposed 3 research questions and 6 hypotheses regarding the emotional, cognitive, and behavioral aspects of users' experiences. We conducted a field experiment for 2 weeks, asking university students to use a mobile application. The app prompted daily task reminders with different types of alarms. After consenting to the study, they recorded their voice for creating the alarm and were assigned to one of the 3 groups of alarm. While they heard the alarm every day, they could spontaneously choose whether to complete the task or not. During the 2 weeks of the experiment, participants' behavior, such as task completion and repetitions, were tracked by the application. Afterward, we asked them to complete a self-report survey, including open-ended questions about their overall experience using the alarm for goal achievement. We chose second language vocabulary learning as the goal task for participants to complete every day. First, they selected the alarm time for the task. When the alarm sounded, they received a prompt message asking if they would start the task, either by clicking yes or no. Those who chose to start the task began their learning by tapping the screen. They could also complete a task to review their daily vocabulary. Our study results shows that using a self-voice alarm elicited a higher level of alertness and discomfort compared to other types of alarms. It also effectively increased the number of task completions and repetitions over 2 weeks. On the other hand, using other voice alarms did not have a significant impact on users' behavioral changes. However, they did increase the enjoyment of the task and lower the level of negative emotions such as feelings of upset, fear, and annoyance. We also found that both self-voice and other voice alarms were perceived as useful and automatically conducted. However, they also increased the feeling of shame and nervousness. The reason behind the shame and nervousness was revealed in our qualitative data. The participants in human voice alarms groups mentioned that they felt embarrassed and ashamed, especially when they're with other people or in public spaces with strangers. Our qualitative research uncovered more interesting findings about the user's experience on the alarm system, so visit our full paper and discover further insights. In our discussion, we addressed the trade-offs between self-voice and other voice alarms. While self-voice alarms are effective for task completion and behavioral change, other voice alarms are more effective for motivating users with higher enjoyment. Based on these results, we propose design guidelines for alarm systems using two design approaches. The first approach is individualization, which allows users to choose their alarm sound based on their purpose and preference. For instance, people who are seeking effective behavioral change will use a self-voice alarm, while those who focus on task enjoyment may prefer other voice alarm. If users want to avoid any kinds of emotional discomfort, they better use the traditional beep sound alarm. The users can also customize their voice features by adjusting the voice parameters such as pitch, tone, and duration. These voice features can affect the user's perception of voice familiarity or preferences by reflecting the voice speaker's personas or emotional states. The second strategy is context awareness, which employs multiple voices for one user, tailored to different contexts. For instance, when the user starts to build a new daily routine, the intense emotional activity of the self-voice alarm can help users conduct the task more often. As the target behavior becomes familiar, other voice alarms can be used to increase task enjoyment and alleviate the negative emotions triggered by the self-voice alarm. However, both self-voice and other voice alarms may cause embarrassment in public places. Therefore, users should have the option to switch their alarm to a beep sound alarm or vibration mode to avoid feelings of shame or nervousness. Our investigation into self-voice alarms serves as a personalized intervention strategy to assist individuals in achieving their daily goals. While the distinctive impacts of self-voice have been acknowledged in various domains, including neuroscience, psychology, linguistics, and ergonomic design, our study provides empirical evidence of these impacts in the context of goal achievement and mobile intervention. We believe our approach offers a new perspective on utilizing human voices in voice user interfaces within the field of human-computer interaction. Our findings need more attention with the emerging technologies of voice cloning, which can generate naturally synthesized voices that resemble the individuals. As the emerging technologies can create realistic and personalized voices, the future user interfaces will allow users to experience more engaging and persuasive interactions. Thank you for watching this, and I would like to hear your thoughts and comments on our study. If you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to contact me at jk2345@cornell.edu.